Hello, everyone. So let's see. It's Thursday today. The Parsha is VaYeshev, which is the beginning of the story of Joseph and his brothers. And so it's the fifth day, so we go to the fifth Aliyah. The Torah readings are broken up into 7 Aliyahs, one for each day of the week, although we only read the Torah in the synagogue on Monday, Thursday, and Shabbat, and the Saturday. But when we study, and you open up to study, you should try to always go to the portion of the day. And today is Thursday, Yom Chamishi, the fifth day. And so we open up Parshat VaYeshev to the fifth portion. Let's see what we can glean in just a few minutes here. So it says, VaYosef Hurad Mitzrayma. Joseph was descending to Egypt because he was sold to the Ishmaelim. By his brothers had sold him previously. His brothers sold him to the Ishmaelim, the Ishmaelites. Mitzrayim, toward Mitzrayim. When you have a on the end of a word in Hebrew, and that word is the name of a place, it means toward that place. So, for example, America means America. America means toward America. Okay. Vayikneihu Potifar Saris Paro. So there's this saris. What does saris mean? Well, let's look it up, because for a split second here, I thought saris meant eunuch. Let's see, translate. Let's see. Yeah, it means eunuch. But I don't know that Potiphar was a eunuch. Okay. But it also could mean court official or chamberlain or valet. So it doesn't make sense that he would be a eunuch, because isn't Eshet Potiphar, he has a wife, and the wife is the one who tries to seduce him? Maybe that's why she tried to seduce him, because her husband's a eunuch. I don't know. But anyways, a quick search here on the internet means that saris means eunuch or court official. I think there would be a debate in the commentaries whether or not he actually was a eunuch. Eunuch meaning his genitalia were maimed somehow in order that he wouldn't... they used to do this in the ancient world so that you wouldn't end up fooling around with the many wives and concubines of the king. Okay, fine. And notice that right now we are in dynastic Egypt. There is a change later on that will happen in the book of Exodus, the beginning of the book of Exodus and the book of Shemot, where it's very clear that we change from dynastic Egypt into a complete monarch system. So if you study Egyptian history, that's interesting here. And then also we can place exactly when the Exodus was occurring, when the Jews were in Egypt, etc. But pre-dynastic Egypt seems very clear, because there's Paro and there becomes it's a discussion for another time. So Sarah Tabachim, so he was the chief for the pharaoh of the Tabachim, of the cooking, or of shechting, slaughtering the animals. Ish Mitzri, an Egyptian man, Miyad Ishmaelim, from the Ishmaelites, Asher Horiduhu Shama, that brought him down there. And it continues, and it says here, Vayihi Adonai et Yosef, Vayihi Ish Matzliach, Vayihi Beveit Adonav HaMitzri. Oh, we have a great point here. And God was et Yosef. Et here sometimes is translated as with, but the true translation of the word et is, there's no way to translate the word. What the purpose of the word et in Hebrew, or es, other pronunciations in Hebrew, is to signify that the immediate following word is the object of the verb, the thing to which the verb is being done. And sometimes the Torah doesn't use et. In the book of Psalms, it is rampant with taking out the word et in order to create double meanings, like true double entendre. And there's a big debate in the Talmud whether we use the word et to make drushes, to make learnings out from the Bible, exegetical learnings out, or also we use the word et, which really is not able to be translated, which means the following word is the object of the verb. To make legal rulings. One of the most famous is that kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, honor et your father and et your mother. The verse without the word et at all, or even just put one in, could make perfect sense. For example, you could say, option number one, kabed et avicha v'imecha, honor et your father and your mother. Or you could say, honor avicha v'imecha, kabed avicha v'imecha, without the word et at all. But the Torah goes out of its way. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. So that's a strange way where the Torah is going out of its way to say the word et. It's passed down from Moses that it also refers to your older sibling. That you have to honor your older sibling just like your parents. Also in the first verse of the Torah, it says Bereshit, in a beginning of, bara Elokim, created God, or God created, et hashamayim, et the heavens, or the space, and et haaretz, and et the mass, or the earth. And you think to yourself, it doesn't have to use the word et, just don't use the word et at all, and the pasuk would make perfect sense. The verse would make perfect sense. It would say, Bereshit, in a beginning of, bara Elokim, created God, hashamayim haaretz, the heavens and the earth. Or you could say, et hashamayim haaretz, et the heavens and the earth. But to say et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, you see, sometimes the Bible plays with the word et, so much so that there were some linguists in the beginning of the 1900s, when Hebrew was beginning to flourish once more, who thought maybe we should just, as a rule, get rid of the word et, because the word et is it's so many in proper Hebrew. A lot of Israelis struggle with the usage of the word et, actually, because it's in dicta class, in grammar class, it's very difficult to place it. So there's a whole method to the madness that goes all the way back to the Bible. And here we have the word et. It says Vayhi, and he was, referring to God. The next word, Hashem, God, Ado, and then Nai, Hashem. Et Yosef, et Joseph. Vayhi ish mesleach, and Joseph was a successful man. Vayhi biveit aronav mitzri, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. So the point here, after this whole premise of the word et, I want to share with you, is go all the way back to Noach, and you'll see this dichotomy. Noah and the flood, that guy, the verse over there says that Noach, hitalech, walked himself, et God. And here it says God was et Joseph. So the object and the subject have switched places. By Noach, it says that Noach was et God. Noach was et God. God is the object of the verb of being, the verb. So Noach was with God, or et God. I don't like the translation with. And here it says that God was et Yosef. So very interesting, because Yosef already is a much lower form of prophet than you see by Noach and the other patriarchs, because Yosef does not speak to God like with words like the other prophets. And yet God was with Joseph, or et Joseph, whatever that means. He was a successful man. Something was with him. He had that X factor. And that was his godliness, and he was a prophet in the sense of dreams, of speaking to God that way. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of the week. I'll see you all tomorrow.